until you make the unconscious conscious. It will quietly direct your life, and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. There are wounds with no diagnosis, losses with no name, cycles that repeat endlessly as if your life has been programmed for suffering without any clear reason. And if you're an Aquarius, you may have lived in that feeling for a very long time, very deeply. So deeply, in fact, you came to believe this is me, this is my life, and maybe everyone feels the same. But the truth is, no, many have spoken up. I'm 63 years old, and only now do I understand why my life has been filled with so many unexplainable things. I'm the one chosen to break the ancestral curse. I've lost everything and had no choice but to heal myself. No one taught them to call it a curse, but their soul knew. And if you're hearing these words right now, maybe a part of you, the deepest part, knows it too. Why do they say Aquarius bears a curse? Is it a destiny written in the stars, or a wound inherited from the souls in your bloodline? The 600-year curse may sound mysterious, mythical, like a motif from some ancient fairy tale. But peel away the mystical wrapping and you'll find something far more raw. This is not myth. This is history. 600 years ago, in the 15th century, systemic oppression began to escalate. Traditional medicine was banned by the church. Women who knew how to heal were burned alive. Communities were torn apart. Knowledge was controlled. Freedom of thought was punished. And in the midst of that era, a group of souls was marked. The pioneers, the ones who carried the energy of revolution, of change, of radical vision. In the language of astrology, they carried the imprint of Aquarius. Aquarius was not born to obey. They were born to reimagine. And because of that, they became the first target of power structures. Difference was labeled madness. Freedom was called danger. Healing through nature was branded as witchcraft. Creativity was smothered into silence. A curse was cast, no spells required, just fear passed down through bloodlines. One generation to the next, none of us is born a blank slate. We carry within us the pain our grandmothers never spoke of, the choices our mothers had to make in silence, the beliefs about our self-worth etched into us before we even had words to name them. That is not fate. That is a spiritual scar passed through emotional inheritance and karmic legacy. And the tragic irony is this: those who are the strongest are often the ones burdened with the heaviest karma, because they were chosen to end it, to break it, to rewire the current. So, why Aquarius? Aquarius is the sign of revolution, not through swords, but through consciousness. They represent the future, the breakthrough, the collective mind, and you can't mold an Aquarius into a box. The only way to break them is to make them doubt themselves so deeply they retreat. This curse doesn't need to kill you. It only needs to convince you that you don't deserve to be free, but the time has been long enough. 600 years is enough for one cycle of suffering. Now, it's time to ask, what if the things I've always believed were my nature are actually the consequences of a curse I inherited? And if the answer is yes, then you too have the power to say, I'm the one who will end it. When you begin to realize that you're not solely the result of your own choices, but also the consequence of a cycle stretching back 600 years, everything inside you begins to tremble. But that truth doesn't arrive like thunder. It comes in the small details. A sudden wave of discontent in places that once felt safe. A familiar conversation that suddenly feels off. A strange sensation in your body that you can't keep living the way you used to. Some call it spiritual awakening. Others call it an identity crisis. But on a soul level, it is the necessary rupture where the old self begins to dissolve to make space for something more real, more honest, and completely unprecedented. One day you wake up and no longer recognize your own life. There was no accident, no major shock, just everything that was once familiar now feels suffocating. The person you once loved now makes you feel small. The job you once fought for now drains your soul. The roles you once wore proudly, the healer, the peacekeeper, the one who stood behind the scenes, now feel like heavy masks. And then you begin to hear the whisper inside, I'm no longer who I was. but I don't yet know who I'm becoming. This is not a disorder, not depression, not a failure of will. This is soul-level recalibration, a process science hasn't named yet, but old souls have always known. Before a soul takes a quantum leap, it must first dissolve. You are not broken. You are being dismantled layer by layer and to return to your original shape. And that process is far from comfortable. You may experience strange events, losses with no explanation, misunderstandings from those you trusted most, physical pain with no clear source, emotional triggers you thought you had already healed, prolonged exhaustion, not from your body, but from your energy. Here's what the material world never teaches you. Not everything that falls apart means you were wrong. Sometimes it means you've never been more right. You no longer fit your old environment. You can no longer play your old roles. You can no longer live inside the old energetic prison. And if you try to keep those broken pieces together, you'll only hurt yourself more. Some buildings can't be repaired. They're not cracked. They're rotten from the foundation. There's a very subtle curse. It convinces you that you're not allowed to leave. We grow up with false beliefs, and if I try harder, things will get better. If I'm kind, they'll understand. If I endure long enough, happiness will come. But that's the curse speaking, not your soul. The curse wants you to stay with the pain, because pain keeps you in the cycle. It praises your sacrifice, never your honesty. Aquarius, you were born to dismantle illusion, and the truth is you don't owe anyone the disintegration of yourself. You have the right to say, I no longer align with this, and I walk away without apology. When everything old falls away, the scariest part isn't the loss, it's the emptiness. You were the caretaker, the fixer, the one who never upset anyone, and now you don't want to do that anymore. So what remains? You remain whole, original, unnamed. And in that moment, you may feel empty, lost, unanchored. That is the soul making room for rebirth, not from pain, but from truth. When your old life unravels, you will feel tempted to patch up the old relationship, return to familiar habits, lie to yourself again just to make others comfortable. But this is the last time you'll have to choose. Will you keep carrying the false version of yourself, or let it dissolve so something new can emerge? You're not failing. You're shedding a role you were never meant to play. And if you dare to stop fixing and start releasing, stop redrawing the old painting and start a new one, stop waiting to be understood and choose to understand yourself first, then the curse can no longer cling to you. The previous part was the collapse, then this one is the whisper. You're still on time. Because what comes after you let go of what no longer fits is not a void, but an invitation. An invitation from you, but from the higher, brighter, more whole version of you, the one you've always felt lingering at the edge of your mind, in strange, intuitive moments and dreams you've never told anyone, or in those times you wrote something that surprised even yourself. That version has always been there, still patiently waiting for you. It is never too late. When the old self disintegrates, you enter a strange silence. You're no longer who you were, but you don't yet know who you're becoming. And in that emptiness, many panic. They return to the old safety zone, put the familiar mask back on, continue the pre-programmed life. But a rare few choose to stay still, choose not to rebuild too quickly. And in that stillness, something miraculous happens. They hear the call of their higher self, the version that was once forgotten but never left. Among the awakening Aquarius souls, some have said, I'm 60, and only now do I understand why everything happened. I'm 62, but I'm ready to begin again. These words are not about regret. They speak of sacred timing, when the door only opens for those who are ripe enough to walk through. You're not late. You're opening at the precise moment when cosmic cycles are ready to receive you. Not according to society's clock, but your soul's calendar. Society teaches you to count years, as if a person's worth declines with age. The young are full of potential, the old are past their prime. But Aquarius doesn't live by a linear timeline. You live by frequency. Each life cycle is a spiral, where you don't grow old, but you remember. You reopen ancient memories. You resonate with energy layers that were once locked, and you return to the origin point, but with a new level of awareness. Have you ever felt like there's another you quietly observing? That some dreams carry messages far beyond the present? A strong feeling that my life hasn't truly started, yet none of it is imagination. That is your higher self, the one who has already walked ahead in a different timeline, calling you back to truth. And only when you release the pressure of age, milestones, life schedules, can you hear that voice clearly. You have the right to begin again at 62. You can shatter everything at 40. You can choose a completely new path at 75. You owe no one an explanation. No one lives your life long enough to place an expiration date on your soul. You are the first, in this timeline, to dare ask, how much of my light have I never lived? And when you ask that question, you don't just break a personal curse, you tear the old calendar apart and open an entirely new timeline. No, you're not late. You are right on time. You are the marker. You are the one who declares, this is where the old time ends and a new soul stream begins. After you escape the prison of time, a bigger truth awaits ahead. You are not living only for yourself. Because when you wake up at 3 a.m. with a sorrow you can't name, when anger simmers inside you without a clear cause, when exhaustion floods you even though no one has harmed you, it's possible that you are carrying the pain of a family system that no one has dared to face for far too long. Unspoken words, wounds dismissed as minor, silences everyone learned to maintain. They live quietly, in family dinners, in the way you can't quite tell the truth, in the fearful glances whenever you try to do something different from the family. You are the first to question. You are the first to say, I don't want to repeat this anymore. And that recognition alone is a revolution. But if you've ever felt different since childhood, rebellious for no clear reason, the difficult one in the family, unwilling to follow your parents' way of life even when no one asked you to, then maybe you're not the problem. You are the solution for your generation. But what you are feeling isn't just yours. You may be feeling on behalf of a family system that has gone unprocessed for too long. It shows up in the most mundane things. Meals where no one speaks from the heart, children taught to be obedient instead of honest, women accustomed to silence to keep the peace, men who never learned how to be soft and so chose anger to survive. All of this forms a chain of collective memory, never digested, only passed down, until one person, like you, says, I'm not carrying this any further. I will not teach my children this. I will scream even if my entire bloodline stayed silent. Every family has one like this. The first to question. The first to say, I don't want to repeat this anymore. When you learn to express your emotions, you heal those who were never allowed to cry. When you leave a toxic relationship, you protect unborn children from the same cycles. When you listen to your body, you teach your bloodline. We don't have to suffer to survive. That is the energy of the breaker. You are not a lone rebel. You are the rupture in the karmic chain. You are the place where old patterns end and a new cycle begins. But the price of breaking it is not light. You might feel out of place in your own family. You might be labeled as too sensitive, too strange, too complicated. You might lose connection with people you once called your own. But remember, you didn't come to blend in. You came to liberate. And every step you take, every layer you shed, is not just for you. It's for your grandmother, your mother, your daughter, your nephew, for all those who never got the chance to do what you're doing. An Aquarius once said, I feel like something has been draped over me my whole life. And I believe many would nod at that, because they too have felt it. A shadow with no clear shape, yet always present. That shadow may take the form of shame, repetition, or prolonged silence, but you don't have to walk into the darkness to destroy it. You just have to turn on the light. And that light doesn't come from anywhere else. It starts with you, and you are that light. The first to dare not to endure, the first to choose authenticity, the first to ask, whose life am I really living? The answer is yours. And by living it, you live for every soul that never had the chance to. After you escape the prison of time, a bigger truth awaits ahead. You are not living only for yourself. Because when you wake up at 3 a.m. with a sorrow you can't name, when anger simmers inside you without a clear cause, when exhaustion floods you even though no one has harmed you, it's possible that you are carrying the pain of a family system that no one has dared to face for far too long. Unspoken words, wounds dismissed as minor, silences everyone learned to maintain. They live quietly, in family dinners, in the way you can't quite tell the truth, in the fearful glances whenever you try to do something different from the family. You are the first to question. You are the first to say, I don't want to repeat this anymore. And that recognition alone is a revolution. But if you've ever felt different since childhood, rebellious for no clear reason, the difficult one in the family, unwilling to follow your parents' way of life even when no one asked you to, then maybe you're not the problem. You are the solution for your generation. But what you are feeling isn't just yours. You may be feeling on behalf of a family system that has gone unprocessed for too long. It shows up in the most mundane things. Meals where no one speaks from the heart, children taught to be obedient instead of honest, women accustomed to silence to keep the peace, men who never learned how to be soft and so chose anger to survive. All of this forms a chain of collective memory, never digested, only passed down, until one person, like you, says, "I'm not carrying this any further. I will not teach my children this. I will scream even if my entire bloodline stayed silent." Every family has one like this. The first to question, the first to say, "I don't want to repeat this anymore." When you learn to express your emotions, you heal those who were never allowed to cry. When you leave a toxic relationship, you protect unborn children from the same cycles. When you listen to your body, you teach your bloodline. We don't have to suffer to survive. That is the energy of the breaker. You are not a lone rebel. You are the rupture in the karmic chain. You are the place where old patterns end and a new cycle begins. But the price of breaking it is not light. You might feel out of place in your own family. You might be labeled as too sensitive, too strange, too complicated. You might lose connection with people you once called your own. But remember, you didn't come to blend in. You came to liberate. And every step you take, every layer you shed, is not just for you. It's for your grandmother, your mother, your daughter, your nephew, for all those who never got the chance to do what you're doing. An Aquarius once said, "I feel like something has been draped over me my whole life." And I believe many would nod at that, because they too have felt it. A shadow with no clear shape, yet always present. That shadow may take the form of shame, repetition, or prolonged silence, but you don't have to walk into the darkness to destroy it. You just have to turn on the light. And that light doesn't come from anywhere else. It starts with you, and you are that light. The first to dare not to endure, the first to choose authenticity, the first to ask, whose life am I really living? The answer is yours. And by living it, you live for every soul that never had the chance to. It is not a coincidence that you are an Aquarius. It is not a coincidence that you feel different. It is not a coincidence that you're the last one to leave the table when everyone else has already accepted their old roles. It's time to ask the question no one dares to ask. Why must we bear the curse? Who cast it? And why 600 years? I once wished I knew the name of the sorcerer or witch who cast this curse so I could return the favor to the right person. You're probably smiling reading this, but deep down, it's the rage of an Aquarius soul that's been suffocated far too long. And the truth is, there isn't one person, there is an entire system. A system that runs on control and fear, where those who carry light are seen as threats, where knowledge not obtained from institutions is burned, where those who hear the voice within are branded as heretics, rebels, the unstable ones. And who heard that voice first? Aquarius. Around the early 15th century, a major astrological alignment began to form. The great conjunctions of slow-moving planets, Jupiter and Saturn, began shifting into air signs, preparing the stage for the age of Aquarius. It was also the time when humanity started collectively suppressing intuition, mystical knowledge, and natural healing abilities. The European witch hunts, imperial information control, the fall of nature-based communities, all happened in that window of time. This wasn't just a historical event, it was an energetic lockdown. And the souls carrying Aquarian frequency are often the ones coded to run against the grain. Because Aquarius doesn't live for the present, they live for what has not yet arrived. You did not come here to simply survive. You came to transcend, to see the systems that no longer function, and ask, why are we still doing this? You are the one who unplugs the old machine. You are the signal for the generation to come. And the 600-year curse is in fact compressed energy, held back across 6 centuries where intuition was dismissed, freedom was silenced, and difference was condemned. Some ask, when will we be free? Could it be someone once asked that the moment of liberation isn't a date on the calendar, but the moment we realize the curse can end? The answer is not in a point in time, it lies in frequency alignment. The curse ends when you say, I will no longer live in this pattern. I will not shrink myself to fit into a cracked mold. I will not let age, gender, status, or tradition define who I am. In that very moment, you activate a portal of liberation, not just for yourself, but for the entire soul collective of Aquarius that you represent. So what now? The universe doesn't want you to read a script. The universe wants you to co-write it. You don't have to wait another 600 years. You don't have to beg for liberation. You only need to choose. Choose to speak what you know. Choose to live what you believe. Choose to stop repeating what no longer resonates. Aquarius. When you let go of the wrong role, when you step out of the false timeline, when you stop waiting for permission to be free, the curse ends, not with thunder, but with a deep breath, a letting go, a quiet step into the light for no reason but truth. And in that step, you don't just free yourself, you open the door for thousands of waiting souls, because you are Aquarius, because you are the one the old world feared most and the new world needs most. If you've made it this far, perhaps you already know. You didn't hear this by accident. You arrived right on time. You are the signal, and you are no longer alone. Are you ready? Leave a comment. I choose liberation, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a message meant for your journey.